This is shaping up to be an historic storm. In this video, I'll show you how it develops from the Gulf through the south, lifting up to the northeast, meeting that cold weather that's sweeping in back behind it. Historic levels of ice as far as that coverage is concerned. Thank you for being with me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. It is Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. Look at this coverage of ice from Texas that will sweep back toward the Carolinas. I'll cover this, the ice totals, plus those snow totals going up. So we'll go very specific, city by city in this video with how much ice you could expect, where it will be. Same thing goes for the snow. We're going to zoom down into many locations. The Mid-Atlantic Northeast, a higher threat of higher snow totals with the shifts up to the north. That's what Matt and I have been talking about the last couple of days. So let me show you how this plays out. Let me take you through the time frame. This is by tomorrow afternoon. You see that wintry mix, some of the icing, Oklahoma back toward Texas. Heavier rain on Dallas. Again, the shift to the north. I'll show you the change that we're going to see with the snow and ice totals. Now, by Saturday, taking you through the day, this is how expansive it is. Watching from Midland back through Dallas, Memphis, right through Knoxville over toward Raleigh, getting the start of at least some ice, maybe some of that snow. This huge wintry mix. Watching that Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, the snow for Kentucky. Then as we work our way into Sunday morning, same spots. That's the issue we're contending with. The widespread coverage, but how long it lasts. We could see some icing in Atlanta. That'll be a possibility. And then we get the big snow piece of this lifting closer to the northeast, deeper into our Sunday. I'll zoom down in a moment. You could see the snow in through here, the ice potential back through southern parts of Virginia, southern West Virginia, watching North Carolina, South Carolina for that ice potential still as we get over toward the Atlanta area. And then by Sunday night, a significant snow. That's going to be a potential parts of New England down into the Mid-Atlantic as this system eventually tries to depart. So let me zoom down a little bit closer. Again, showed you the start of it. New Mexico back toward Texas. Here's that feel as we zoom down. Atlantic region of Canada also watching. We'll cover some of those snow totals. Now look what happens here. This here is by the time we get into Saturday, 4 o'clock. You see right over toward Raleigh, Charlotte, the start of a wintry mix. Watching parts of South Carolina, the snow, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee. We're getting a mix over toward the north side, some of that snow, and then switching over to the ice. As this lifts a little bit to the north, Matt and I don't just look at the models, we look at the trends, everything we're seeing in the environment. We're going to see a little bit of warm air creeping in. So you see the Outer Banks, could be some rain by the time we get into Sunday afternoon. Meanwhile, that snow spreading from Pittsburgh, Altoona, swinging back toward Philly, up toward Scranton. And then as we work our way into Sunday night, you see all of this snow, the Cape, the Islands, North Attleboro, back through Providence, Hartford. And you see right here that rain moving off. And then you see that snow clipping by Nova Scotia by the time we work our way into Monday morning. All right, as promised, let's get that zoom down look. Now I'm jumping ahead here as we swing back toward New England and the Mid-Atlantic. This is Saturday, 6 p.m. And you see the snow, Richmond, watching Fredericksburg with a shift to the north. That'll limit some of the totals, southern sections of Virginia, because we'll get more of that mix. You see here by Sunday morning, that snow over towards Salisbury, Delmarva, Stone Harbor, seeing some of the snow. Ocean City, Maryland, Ocean City, New Jersey, the snow moving in. Harrisonburg over toward JMU, Fairfax, it is a snow. Alexandria, DC, and then it starts to spread to the north. The Cape, the Islands, Falmouth, Hartford, New Haven, starting to get some of that snow deeper into our Sunday. And then you see right in through here across Pennsylvania, parts of New York, Panhandle of Maryland, much of Maryland, the snow. Then it gets significant. Sunday night into Monday, the heavier snow near Philly, Allentown, New York, right into New York City, all across Long Island, New Haven, New London, Hartford, Providence, Cumberland, back toward New Bedford, seeing that significant snow. Newport, Rhode Island, the snow, and then it will eventually, little glitch there, and then it will eventually switch off and start to move away. Now, we take a look at the snow totals, and then I want to show you the ice totals, the ice accumulation very specifically. So thank you again for your patience. If you're subscribed to this channel, Matt and I are going to put out additional updates to give you the very latest because, of course, the storm, it hasn't even developed yet. It's evolving, so I do expect some changes. So Matt and I got you covered. Subscribers, you'll get those notifications first. Now, as we work our way, this is a total that takes us 120 hours out. This is the model we're going with as of now. The last system, we were looking more at the American model. This a version of the European model. And again, that's why I mentioned we don't just look at the models. We're really fine tuning what's going to happen. But look at this swath of snow. Panhandle of Texas, potentially 10 inches. Oklahoma City on the edge. It could be as high as half a foot of snow. We're swinging back toward Memphis, right on the edge to the north. That's where we'll see a little bit more snow. Again, in this area here, we're looking at more in the way of icing, not necessarily a snow accumulation right through here. So you could pick a spot on the map where you are or where you have some interest. As we go forward here, as we zoom back out, here's Kentucky. You get back toward Tennessee. I mentioned Nashville on the edge. Plausible that if there's a shift back to the south, there could be 4 inches of snow. Plausible that there's no snow at all if it continues to shift to the north in more of an icing conditions, but looking at about an inch or two of snow right into Nashville. To the north, we swing back toward parts of Kentucky. Look at that, over a foot of some snow. Indianapolis, Ohio, southern sections with that shift to the north, that snow will be a potential, even southern sections of Illinois. And again, keeping an eye on Missouri. Of course, Little Rock on the edge. The snow should be to the north. Northern sections of Arkansas, Charleston, West Virginia, Dunbar, looking about 6 to 7 inches of some of that snow. We swing back toward Snowshoe, over toward from West Virginia back toward Virginia. We get back toward Winchester, higher totals. I mentioned with that shift to the north, that does lower some of the totals. Southern sections of Virginia. Remember, several days ago, I was talking about the potential of a foot in Norfolk. For good reason. It's that swath of snow, but that has shifted to the north. It's a fine line system between rain, ice, and snow. That's how it goes, as you well know. I trust your judgment with these systems, and you see the big time snow. This core right in here, over a foot of snow. Panhandle of Maryland, Panhandle of West Virginia, over a foot. So Fredericksburg on the edge, it could be 7, but any shift to the north, it could be an issue where we have 7 inches of snow in one spot, 10 miles to the south, almost nothing at all. That shows you how much of a fine line this is. Get over toward DC. We're looking at about anywhere from 7 to maybe 10 inches of snow. Same thing in Baltimore, Annapolis. That's a possibility. Salisbury will eventually see a switch over to rain. That will eventually limit some of the totals. We swing back toward Philly. We're looking at about 8, maybe 9 inches of snow. That'll be a potential. Harrisburg, about a foot of snow. Scranton, this could dump about 9 inches of some snow. And you see, again, watching here, parts of New York, upwards of a foot of snow. Rochester, a foot will be possible. New York, we're looking at about 8 inches. Here's the zoom down view. Then we'll get to the ice totals. I just want to really give you a good handle on what we're seeing with these changes that we have. Winchester, 14.5, Baltimore, 10, Annapolis pushing 9, Dover, we could get about 6, 7, 8 inches of some of the snow. Philly, as I mentioned, 8, over toward AC, about 7 inches. Get over toward York, we're looking at about a foot of snow. That will be a possibility back toward Lancaster, but this is that fine line, swinging back anywhere from William and Mary, swinging back toward Richmond, right up toward Fredericksburg. There's going to be a sharp cutoff here. So again, thank you for your patience with this. Sharp cutoff between a plowable snow or just no snow at all. Then we lift to the north and through here. I mentioned this, parts of New York, the heavy stuff getting enhanced by Lake Ontario. That snow right in through here. I'm going to zoom down, and then we'll see how much of this lifts up toward the Atlantic region of Canada. But Providence looking at about 9, 10 in Hartford, as I mentioned, 8 into New York. Here's that zoom down look. What Matt and I are, this is our best judgment as what we could expect now. We swing back toward southern sections of New England. If this shifts any more to the north, there could actually be a little bit of rain or just simply less snow, maybe some sleet. We get some sleet, really limits the totals. But as it stands now, Waterbury about 10 inches, New London about 8 inches. We swing back towards Springfield, Worcester over toward Holy Cross, pushing about 10 to 11 inches of some of that snow. Poughkeepsie back toward Albany, we're pushing about 9, and then we swing back toward a Newport, right on the edge of about 9 inches. But again, any shift to the north could actually limit some of the totals. 9 Providence over toward Cumberland, New Bedford, about 8 inches of some snow. Boston, as of now, looking at about 10. So right about 10 inches of snow, a possibility in the Boston area. Cape and the Islands will be a little bit less in Nantucket, a little bit more Martha's Vineyard. We'll see this kind of lifting in as rain for a brief period of time or some sleet. Manchester, we work our way toward New Hampshire. We're looking at about 8 inches of some of the snow, monitoring New Hampshire and Vermont, where we could see about 6, 7, 8, 9 inches of some of the snow. Then we'll just still see. It's kind of a wait and see through here. Atlantic region of Canada, we're watching everyone. Newfoundland, back toward Nova Scotia. We're going to monitor how much of this will be lifting up to the north. Maine southern sections, the better chance of getting that snow in Maine. Still a few question marks. Northern New England, Maine back toward the Atlantic region of Canada. Here's the icing. I'll zoom down for you in a second, but this is how widespread the potential is. Now, as far as icing goes, maybe some sleet mixed in. The freezing rain potential, huge concern, because we could have the power outages, and not only the power outages, but the downed trees and the cold air on top of it. We've got that cold air that's going to settle in for days and days. So for some folks with no power, it is going to be very difficult to stay warm. We know about that. They're opening shelters in locations, so we'll continue to monitor that information. But as far as the ice accumulation goes, once again, Dallas on the edge of that, Shreveport, we get over toward Louisiana, really north of Lake Charles, where we could see a significant ice accumulation, and we'll see that as well, watching Memphis, Huntsville, Atlanta on the edge of this icing. Any more shift to the north, it would mean more rain, which would be better news. Any shift to the south, that would mean more ice in the Atlanta metro area. So right on the edge of that. South Carolina, North Carolina as well. We could see that ice accumulation, watching that, as I mentioned, back toward Tennessee, maybe more snow northern sections of Tennessee, but then we could see eventually some sort of switch over with some of the ice. And because of that shift to the north, parts of Virginia, again, as I mentioned, we're going to see that ice accumulation, lower snow total southern Virginia, but the ice accumulation more significant. So historic ice coverage, power loss, trees down, coupled with that cold blast. The northeast snow threat is getting higher. So that's why Matt and I will put out those additional updates. The trends continue to shift to the north. What we're watching, though, is not just the models, how this system develops over the next 24 hours. We got you covered right here on Snow Bros. Thank you for being part of this weather community. We'll keep you posted. I'll be watching your comments. Have a good rest of your day.